American Flyer Lager from Harpoon Brewery. I got sucked in by the marketing. This beer is okay.
I really like the look of that can. That looks real retro-y.
Yeah, that's what got me. I was like, oh, I like how that looks.
Major W.
It's really mid.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to witness the world's #1 wrestling podcast. Let me pod to you. Yeah.
Welcome to Let Me Pod to You. I'm Jacob. You can block me on Twitter at WeHateJacob. I'm here with my co-host Demetri. You can find him on Twitter at Demetri Talks. Thank you for updating your @ because I forgot to. Demetri, how'd you feel about wrestling this week?
I thought Raw was pretty mid.
What?
Yeah.
That's a hot take.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty mid. I don't know. Maybe it's because I watched it late. I don't know. But I felt like it was mid. I liked SmackDown, though.
I thought Raw was really good. That was like,
you know what, we did get some we got some good parts throughout it. We can talk about it, but you know, there were some good matches here and there. But yeah, I for the most part, I don't know. Maybe it's because I watched it late. You know how when you record something, you watch it, you kind of like halfway into it, doing work. You know, that's where I was at.
No, I do know what you're talking about. I did actually watch Raw live this week, and I really like pretty much every segment. And it was very much Monday Night Rollins, which I think helped a lot. But we'll get to him a little later too.
Yeah, Bob.
Our format here is Demetri's top of the mid headline: stocks rising, stocks falling. These can be specific wrestlers, storylines, etc. To kick off the conversation, Demetri, who is top of the mid this week?
This week we got a full team, a whole squizzy squad. For top of the mid, as we said before, there are no rules to top of the mid, so we've never done I don't think we've ever done a whole group before, so here we are. Say hello to your top of the mid this week, Imperium. Clap, 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 clap.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yes. And I gotta say, since you did that, they do have a banger theme. It fits them very well. You always know when they're coming. Yep. Oh, they're so good. But man, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to them because they are holding it down. Obviously, Gunther has been a great champ. He is literally the top of the mid champ. Literally the top of the mid champ.
Especially because the Intercontinental title is a better belt than the US right now.
Exactly. Yeah, he's literally got the top mid-card belt right now.
Stock falling.
You got one. There you go. But yeah, man. Imperium, they've been kicking ass, right? Gunther is great to watch. I love the segments with that we've gotten recently with KO and them and KO getting pissed off at them for breaking these unwritten rules. That shit's been hilarious. And I never remember the bald-headed dude's name, which is really funny because they keep referring to him as the bald-headed one.
Giovanni Vinci.
Yes. Yeah, it's so funny how they're playing into the fact that he never speaks, which I took some good notes here. And I thought it was really funny when I was watching Raw and I heard him I think he was yelling in pain because he got hit. And I was like, dog, is that the first time that I've heard him scream? I don't know. It really threw me off. I was like, man, am I hearing this man's voice right now?
I only know his name because shout out to the GOAT, Samantha Irvin.
Yep.
When she does the whole Imperium, she'll do Imperium with the Ring General, Gunther, Ludwig Kaiser, and Giovanni Vinci. She really gets the hand motion on there too.
Yeah, she's great, man. But yeah, shout out to the whole Imperium, man. The goddamn match that who was it? Gunther and KO? Was that what it was?
Banger.
Yeah, dude, that was an absolute banger. As somebody who said the Raw was mid, I unfortunately was doing things while I was watching Raw, so I got to see this match here kind of in and out the whole way through, but what I was able to catch a glimpse of, very good, very solid match. Pretty long, but it doesn't matter if it's long, if it's solid. You know what I mean? If the quality's there, I'm here for it.
While I was watching it, I also was thinking this is going on for a long time. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, they were very careful to keep both Kevin Owens and Gunther looking strong throughout the match, which I think was really important.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can't have KO looking like a scrub. Same thing with my boy Gunther. You know what I'm saying? Can't have him looking like a scrub. That man's the top of the mid. So yeah, man, I'm just really loving the whole squad. I love when they come out. I love their theme song. I love just the whole image. They've done great with that group and making them seem important, even though the other motherfuckers don't do anything. They don't do anything.
Jabronis.
They don't do anything, but they still play a key role to the group. So solid group.
Yeah, I made a joke to Iad the other day about that, because Ludwig Kaiser's always out here talking cheap, like, we get no respect. And then it's like, yeah, bro, because you keep losing. And then you're just going to start picking a fight, and then you're going to have to call dad to come beat somebody up for you again.
That's facts.
Anyway, my headline, all the headline, Bloodline, new belt, Bloodline story. Here we go. Next chapter, we're turning a page, and it's still just straight fire.
Absolutely. They've been on a tear.
First things first. One word. What are your thoughts on the new belt?
One word. Expected.
Good word. Mine was kind of along those lines with boring.
Same idea.
They really just took the existing belts and slapped some gold on there instead of these colors, and we're good to go.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of folks on Twitter calling it ugly. I don't think it's ugly. I think it is an improvement over the old belt, personally, but not like a huge one per se. But I wouldn't call it ugly. I would call it the Ferrero Rocher Universal Championship, and I might refer to it as that going forward.
They need to work on the name, though, because, oh my God, the undisputed WWE Universal Championship is a fucking mouthful. You
gotta wonder if they're gonna switch it up eventually. Whenever Roman loses, he will at some point.
What?
One day, whenever he loses the title, you gotta think they're gonna, maybe switch it up, maybe change the title name, or maybe at that point they maybe this is just a Roman belt and they're planning to keep it on him still for like another year or so. And then whenever he loses the belt, we get a brand new belt, maybe just another WWE championship that looks different. I don't know.
I think they're just going to drop the undisputed. Once Roman is no longer holding that, it's just going to become the WWE Universal Championship. Whereas the other one is the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
It's interesting. I wasn't a big fan of the Universal Championship when they debuted it because I thought the name was kind of funny.
But that's just a Vince WWE universe. Not,
it is.
That's the only reason.
Yeah. And it's funny. I saw a tweet about it. It was funny making fun of these belts. So we call that new belt the Ferrero Rocher Championship, and then previously the Universal Championship we had the Fruit Roll Up Edition Championship. So it's funny that they're going. You could look at them as foods. So we moved on from Fruit Roll Ups. We're on Ferrero Rocher now, a little more fancy.
So getting on to the Bloodline segment. Once again, no notes. Roman gets fake emotional. He gives Jimmy a hug in the perfect way to keep that mic there and just goes, no.
So good.
And then Solo Samoan spikes his brother.
That was good as hell.
What's Jay going to do? He has to make his decision this week.
And you know what? Actually, last week's podcast, my thing was, I was like, I just need to know where Jay is in all this. And it's funny. Now we're finally getting to that point where everybody's asking, what's Jay going to do? Roman says he's going to fall in line like he always does. Is he?
I don't think so.
I hope not, bro. We've been on it, bro. I love Jay Uso. It's time.
Jay's not abandoning his brother. There's no way.
And it's funny.
There's no way he's leaving Jimmy to his own devices.
And we mentioned how great that segment was. It's funny. I watched it, and then like as soon as SmackDown ended, Janie was out crocheting a blanket, and I'm like, yo, the craziest shit just happened on SmackDown. You gotta watch this. And she's like, do I really? And And I'm like, yes. So I replayed the whole segment from the front to the back, and the whole time she's like, oh, wow. And I'm like, see, look. But yeah, that's how you can tell I was hype. I made the wife watch it even though she really didn't care for it.
Damn, that's cold from Janie.
Yep.
All right. Who stocks up?
I'm really liking Pretty Deadly, bro.
Yes, boys!
Yeah, for sure. You know what? I didn't even, so like, as we've mentioned before on the podcast, we both don't really watch NXT, but I knew of Pretty Deadly. But I certainly didn't know their theme song or anything like that. I saw on Twitter that apparently they got a new theme song this week, which that's funny because I noticed that. Like immediately when they came out, I was like, yo, this theme song's kind of a banger. So, you know what? I'm on the music mafia, the theme song business. I love good theme songs. So I got to give a quick shout out to them.
You got a history in the music biz.
That's a great ass theme song. And, I took a quick note here. It's funny that they've barely been on the main roster. And I got to say, personally, I felt like they outshined Theory when teaming with him.
Well, duh. Not that hard.
Which is ridiculous, man. That's our U.S. champion.
He's a bum. Like, he doesn't have... Is he even feuding with anybody right now? Or is he just that irrelevant?
Great question. He seems pretty irrelevant.
Yeah, it's the issue. Like...
And it's ridiculous that these people just came up and, you know, sort of an indictment to Theory, but also sort of like a, you know, applause to Pretty Deadly for being interesting from the jump. Like my eyes were stuck on them because they're interesting. They're good in the ring. And, you know, their promo work seems pretty decent. Their characters are really funny and flamboyant. I like it. And I saw this thing on, a video online somewhere of during a match when they did like a quick swapperoo. That was a cool little move, you know, little shit like that. Like that is cool, creative, keeps me engaged. And it's like interesting because you don't see that every week. You know what I mean?
It's a different kind of heel shit. Which is one of my gripes I've had with just some very generic heels that we've got in wrestling right now that aren't landing for me because it's generic heel shit. Like,
you got to be creative with it.
It's hard to do something different. Yeah. These guys just came up and they are one of the most interesting things on WWE television right now.
And speaking of heels being creative, the number one person that comes to mind of somebody being creative with a heel persona is Eddie Guerrero. Doing all those different tricks and shit that he used to do when he would cheat to try to win a match. Like,
throw the chair, hit the deck.
Lay down like, oh, he did it. He's got a chair. Disqualification. Like, shit like that is hilarious. And he was a pro at working the crowd, thinking of creative ways to cheat and get his win. And you know what? Fantastic. I miss Eddie Guerrero, bro.
No notes. You wanted to talk a little bit about the other NXT call-ups?
Yes. So speaking of Pretty Deadly, it got me thinking about the rest of the roster, and it's been interesting that we've seen pretty much all of the call-ups get like a little bit of screen time each week. We got Zoe Starks in a big feud, like right off the jump, which is pretty cool to see. I love her finisher, by the way.
Oh, really? I hate it.
I think. So I've seen like a compilation of people hitting it reacting to it correctly in NXT. I don't think anybody on the main roster has like sold it properly, but it is cool when it is hit correctly. And just like, go ahead.
I was just going to say, she is one of the, like, she's getting a lot of screen time, which I think is great. And, like, getting attached to Trish Stratus is going to be very good for her career and, like, getting onto the main roster and fitting in. She's just very uninteresting to me as a character.
Yeah, that's fair. That is definitely fair. Who else we got? The ones that are really interesting to me is that tag team of, the Witchy
Carter
Gals.
And Katana Chan. Oh, no. The other ones.
Well, they had a really good match, first of all. That match was crazy, and there were moves in there that I ain't never even seen. So that was dope.
So, one of my issues I have with them, they are the longest reigning NXT tag team champions, and they've been a tag team for like 5 years or something, and they don't have a tag team name. It's just their names.
Oh, yeah, that's strange, huh?
Come on.
You could have came up with something, but
also their initials are both KC. Just be KC squared. Or KCX2.
We got ideas here at WWE Creative.
It's not that hard.
Uh-huh.
And you're just gonna, like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens as tag team champions. They're not like an actual tag team. They're just two bros being dudes, tagging it up and winning gold. But, like, I think if you're gonna be a tag team long term, have a tag team name that makes you interesting and differentiates yourselves.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair. And I don't know what their I don't know what their deal is. Like, if they have what their personalities are like. We haven't seen that much yet. But I will say that their in-ring performance was pretty incredible. I'll give them that for sure.
But you were talking about Alba Fire and Isla Dawn.
Yes. Their whole thing so far has been very interesting for me. Mm-hmm. I'm always partial to the dark characters if done right. You know, because I think the Viking Raiders try to be dark, like we brought up before, but it's just wrong.
No, that's just some dirt because they haven't showered in 2 months.
Yeah, they don't do that right, so it just doesn't hit for me. But this tag team, it seems like it's got some legitimacy to it. I like the they had a little tiny I guess promo on SmackDown. They didn't cut it. It was like a
little
vignette. That's the word. Yeah. That had me ooh, interesting, dark, cool. So I like it. I think they're cool. And I think WWE has done a good job of infusing a lot of new talent. It seems like we've had a lot of new faces show up recently. So it's been nice to see. Refreshing.
I think we talked about them a little bit too, but they're witchy, but they're not doing magic. They're not going and the lights go off or anything. They're just demonic.
Yeah, they're just a believable this person's kind of weird.
Yeah, and I have a video from their last match on SmackDown, and woo wee, woo boy. Yeah, they'll keep getting some screen time. Another guy who's getting lots of screen time is Seth freaking Rollins.
Yes, our champion.
Oh my goodness. Why'd he have to do Finn Balor like that on Monday Night Raw? Bro. Damian Priest is like, I'm going to take your belt right now. And then Seth Rollins is like, yeah, even if you do, I was a longer champ than this guy. Because Finn had the Universal title for a day. Oh, brother. He's out here in his weird suits again.
Hell yeah.
You know, the gold scale jacket and pants.
Shit was looking incredible.
I read an article about that it's Seth Rollins' world and we're just living in it. Something along those lines. And,
pretty much.
The guy was like, I don't even know what his character is anymore. I don't either.
Just flamboyant and kicking ass.
He came back, started wearing crazy clothes, doing that weird
I love the laugh. Yeah.
And he's so over right now too. Perfect first champion. We talked about it a little bit last week, but perfect first person to carry this belt.
Absolutely. And since you're speaking on the belt, I'm going to mention my next stock rising, which is the belt itself.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I love that belt. I just think each week that goes by, each day that goes by, each minute, each second, every time I look at the belt, it looks a little bit better, don't you think?
It does look really good.
It looks so good. And when Seth came out with the gold suit on and the belt was along his waist, I'm like, yo, that looks like a fucking good, nice, prestigious belt. So right now, I'm not going to lie to you. You know, Seth isn't the biggest champion in the company. Obviously, Roman Reigns got that title. But the championship itself, design-wise, hands down, my favorite design. Probably my favorite design since the original World Heavyweight Championship, personally.
Yeah, it does look really good, and he carries it. He carries it really well too. He's so believable. The one thing that I'm not feeling with it so far, I hope this doesn't continue. I hope he doesn't keep doing this open challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, I agree. because it's the World Heavyweight Championship. You shouldn't just be able to like go and be like, I want it.
Exactly. 100%. So that's my one thing with it right now. I'm like, okay. Like I'm into this. I think it's great that he's going to be a fighting champion. That was kind of part of the way they're trying to sell it to us, the WWE universe. It's just one of those things that I think we're going to need to serious it up a bit. And that does not mean have it defended every single night.
Yeah, it's facts. I think that should be a mid-card only type of deal. Yep. Like mid-card titles, U.S. title, Intercontinental title. If you do open challenge for those, that makes sense. You know, people are like scratching, clawing for something, right? And the mid-card, there's so many of them. And, you know, if you can get your hands on a title, cool. You know, that immediately makes you a threat. But like the World Heavyweight Championship, the Universal title, I would never expect you to like do an open challenge for that and just randomly get a title shot.
And also, though, I mean, what kind of makes the point of the Royal Rumble or Money in the Bank?
Great point.
Because it's like, I don't need to actually do anything to get a fight with this guy to get his belt. I can just
say, I want to do it.
I can just do some little tippy tapping on my phone and say, hey, I want to fight you. And he's like, all right, let's fight. And like, I don't watch NXT. We know this. Apparently on NXT this week, Braun Breaker challenged Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. So apparently that's coming soon, I guess now. Like,
is that official? Because I saw that they actually gonna have a match. Because I don't know if he was just talking shit like, yeah, man, I'm gonna challenge him, or if like he's like, if it's actually gonna happen. If it's actually gonna happen, I mean, that'd be cool, I guess. Is he doing another open challenge? Because if he is, Braun Breaker's first in line at this point. Interesting. It also seemed like they teased a little bit of maybe Finn Balor being booted out of the Judgment Day. Did you get that vibe at all? No, I didn't catch, but again, I was kind of busy during Raw, so that's what I loosely watched. That's what I've seen a little bit during this week on the internet wrestling community, is that they're thinking, because Damian Priest said, "Yeah, I can beat you by myself. I don't need help from my boys. My boys can stay in the back." But Finn came out and he tried to mess around and fuck with Seth, and Damian did not look happy. Like, there was this whole point when like the referee was dazed or something, and Damian went, "What are you doing here?" So that's not a great look for Finn Balor, but maybe he's not feeling the faction anymore. Maybe he wants to go back to being irrelevant in the mid-card and losing all his matches. I don't know. Interesting. Weren't they talking about adding somebody to the Judgment Day a while ago? Didn't they say something about a new member at one point? Yeah, it was the Irish Ace. I can't remember his name. It was JD McDonough. Oh, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Speaking of that, I just wanted to mention, where the hell is the Hurt Business reunion? Like, what happened to that? Yeah, so didn't like an Indusar? What are the Indusar? Indica? No. Veer Mahan and friends? Oh, yeah. Whatever they're tag team. Didn't they just beat up like Cedric Alexander and the other fellow? Yeah. I saw that on the thing. I went, I haven't seen Bobby in a while. Yeah, that's what made me think about it. I was like, Bobby's gonna come bursting out here and do some stuff, but we had that little like tease a while ago where like what's his face, MVP was sitting there talking to like the separate members and like backstage segments, and we were like, oh shit, it's getting back together. It really seemed like they were strongly hinting at them coming back together, and we haven't seen the Hurt Business back together. Well, especially because like Triple H loves some factions. So it wouldn't be surprising. Right. Now that we're apparently in our unsourced and unfounded rumor segment, have you seen the stuff about Kevin Patrick? No. He is apparently like, he's got like a month or 8 weeks. Like he's got to like Money in the Bank to like shape up or he's out. Oh, wow. He did seem pretty energetic on the broadcast, unusually. I don't want to kick him while he's down, but it's a little rough. Yeah, like, no, definitely.
when Corey Graves is carrying the broadcasts, that's not good.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's been rough, but that was one thing I noticed about Raw is he was kind of doing a little bit more yelling, seemed a little bit more energetic. But yeah, no, in general, not a fan. Again, don't want to kick him while he's down. I'm sure he can do better, and I'm sure he's trying the best he can. But
He was really good at the backstage stuff.
yeah.
It's too bad the bald fella went back to UFC.
Oh yeah, for
stuff,
sure.
but-
I don't think Byron Saxton's too bad. I mean,
I don't
it's
think
alright.
he's like a play-by-play guy, though.
Yeah, true.
And he was really just there for, like, Corey Graves to kick.
It would be nice if we could just clone Michael Cole. Just
Can you
give me a
imagine
Michael Cole
saying,
clone.
Like, people saying that 20 years ago?
Right.
Anyway, back on track.
Yes.
Next stock rising. L.A. Knight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my God. L.A. Knight is so fucking over.
Absolutely. Mind-blowingly over for somebody just in the mid-card who
And
rarely
he's-
has a match.
And he's supposed to be the heel, and he wins by cheating with the ropes, and everyone's still cheering for the guy.
Yeah, he was on the bump this week. I don't know if you saw any of it, but he so entertaining, man. He was sitting there talking shit with Zelina Vega. It was really good. And she was talking about fans. And he was like, he said something to the extent of, I don't know why they cheer for me. I don't ask them to cheer for me. I never go out there and ask for cheers. When they cheer, they just do it. And I'm like, yo, I love this guy. No, for real. Dude, he's so good.
It was so crazy, because, like, Montez Ford is the face in that little feudy thing that they're doing. He was getting booed for his offense.
The people of LA Knight, they have spoken.
They kind of had one of those moments in the middle of the match where, like both guys kind of looked at each other like, do we need to switch roles? Like, Montez like, should I start doing heel shit? Like, it's kind of the look they gave each other. Nah, he's just going to keep healing it up, and everyone's going to keep cheering for him, and I agree.
Yeah, he's just great at his job. Yeah. Yeah. You can't hate on that.
Can't hate on that at all. Love LA Knight. Bonus stock rising. 2 quick ones.
Hell yeah.
First 2 matches for Forbidden Door 2 have been announced. Bryan Danielson and Okada. I do not watch New Japan. I'm not going to pretend I watch New Japan. But I have heard that Okada is like the Japanese Bryan Danielson. So, this is going to be a banger. Secondly, Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay 3. The last time they wrestled and Kenny got the IWGP United States Championship, he straight up bashed Will Ospreay's face until there was a hole in the table and left him in his own blood and walked out with the belt. So, another banger is on the way.
Sheesh. That's exciting.
And I'll be honest, I have not been that excited about Forbidden Door 2. Just given the Mercedes Moné injury of it all. That was really my biggest excitement for that. So, yeah, those are 2 big matches, and I think they're definitely announcing those a little early to step up those ticket sales and hopefully those pay-per-view buys, because I have not been that interested in this pay-per-view until these matches were announced. Second bonus stock rising. MJF and Adam Cole, baby, were dicing each other up on the mics last night. I will link the video highlights to that in the show notes, but oh my God. Adam Cole said MJF talked about how MJF's fiance left him, how he couldn't keep a relationship to save his life. MJF was talking about how Adam Cole doesn't have the body he used to have, that he looks frail now. And Adam Cole came back and said, well, if you're so interested in my body, let's go backstage, piss in 2 cups, and see which one is natural. Like,
I saw that one on Twitter.
oh my God, bro.
I love when shit gets like, fake personal like that. I love that. I love that.
It was so good. Like, the promos those guys cut back and forth. If y'all haven't seen it, like, just look up that whole segment because it was so good. Adam Cole tricked MJF into into taking him on one-on-one on TV. MJF doesn't wrestle on fucking TV, but he tricked him into it and then got the whole crowd to do the Adam Cole, baby, before he left the ring. So good stuff all around. And now to get hating. Stocks falling.
Yeah. Stocks falling, baby.
Or what's down, I should say.
All right, so I'm gonna knock these two out back to back, just so we can get to your secret stocks falling that I have no idea what it is. At the end, did you think of anything? Is there actually a secret there?
Oh yeah, I just didn't want you to know.
Okay, all right. So yeah, I'll knock these two out back to back. My first stock falling is the second week in a row. The draft continues to fall. The stock continues to fall. Why this week? Dana Brooks just randomly showed up on NXT. Not that I really care exactly what Dana Brooks is doing. She's not like bad, but I'm not like
Dana Brooke.
Is it Dana Brooke?
I think it's just Dana Brooke.
My whole life I've been saying Brooks.
I think that was like a whole thing where there was this whole thing where she was like having like an eliminator match or something.
Yeah.
And she was going against called her Dana Brooks, and she went, "You don't even have my name right. You don't respect me." And they went, "No, I don't."
Wow, I just did that. I Googled it. You're literally right. I just did that. See?
Wow.
But we never see her on TV, so like, don't blame me. Last time she was regularly on TV, it was with Mandy Rose in a tag team years ago.
It was with the 24/7 title.
Oh yeah, that too. Yep. But don't call it the 24/7 title. That's the R-Truth title. Put some respect on his name.
Okay, sure.
Thank you. But anyways, Dana Brooke, no S, showed up to NXT. Meanwhile, I Googled it to be sure. She was drafted to Raw. Why? Why even put her on NXT? Why even draft her to Raw? Choose one. If you want her to be on NXT, either, I guess there wasn't an NXT draft, but you could be a free agent like some people were.
Mustafa Ali and Baron Corbin.
Yeah. If you wanted to show up on NXT, make her a free agent so she can float around to wherever you want her to go. But why draft her to Raw when you haven't used her on Raw and then use her on NXT? It just doesn't make any sense to me. And like, there's like no kayfabe reason behind it. They didn't there's no reason that she showed up. She just showed up and was like, I want a piece of this. And it's just like, how does that happen, dude? How does that happen? If you are drafted to a team in the NBA, if I got drafted to the goddamn Bulls and then I go show up on, let's say I'm drafted on Monday and then on Wednesday I go to sign my contract, and instead of showing up to Chicago, I go to Washington to sign for the Wizards. They're going to be like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Right? Because I was not drafted by them. What's going on?
At the same time, they write the show. It's not like that.
Yeah.
I will link this article as well in the show notes. Lots of articles being linked in the show notes today. As always, shout out to my friends, Cage Side Seats, part of SB Nation.
You're going to claim them as your friends and not mine?
Do you read their articles?
I do sometimes, yeah. Twitter too.
Okay, fair enough. Our
How
friends,
dare you? No, it's fine. They're your friends now. Whatever.
Our friends, Cage Side Seats, they had an article this week about literally the headline, "Here's why WWE is bringing so many Raw and SmackDown stars to NXT." And it's basically just money. If you can bring more main roster people to your developmental, that will make more people tune in to your developmental show. And apparently WWE's TV deals are coming up soon. So they're just trying to extract as much money as they can out of USA for NXT. And one way to do that is to start boosting the ratings ahead of that. Like showing, oh, look, it's getting more popular. We don't know why. It's just, look at that. Naturally getting more popular. So that's their, at least their take on it, which I could definitely see. But I agree with you. The draft has been pointless. It's been an absolute waste of everybody's time. And it's really dumb.
Yeah, about what you said there. I agree. That would make a lot of sense as to why they were doing it. But even if they were planning to do that, at least give me like a kayfabe reason, or like lay something down, like a little nugget that says I I don't know, superstars are able to appear at NXT at any time or just something so that we don't just like blindly get people showing up without any explanation as to why they can show up when you explicitly said that the superstars who are drafted to their brands will only appear on their brands. It just kind of makes everything that they said seem like dumb. And maybe I'm just
completely pointless.
Maybe I'm just too picky, but I take my drafts motherfucking serious, boy.
No, I completely agree with you. If you're going to lay out these rules of this is what the draft is, this is why we're doing it, this is how it's going to be from now on, and within a month you just break all of your own rules, why'd you even tell us these rules?
Right, yeah. Why did you make it that? Yeah, exactly. Why did you go so hard making all these rules, making it be like, yeah, you're only going to go to this place and that's it. Yeah. Come on, bro. But my next stock falling is, dude, this stock is falling real far right now. Okay.
Austin Theory?
No, yes, but not this week. This week, it is Hulk Hogan. The Hulk Hogan stock is falling hard because RIP to a legend, Iron Sheik, passed away this week. One of my favorite Twitter accounts, really fun follow. Obviously a great legendary wrestler. And I just have a little funny story here. I had no idea who the Iron Sheik was when I was little because I was too little to experience that. But he and Hulk Hogan were my first wrestling action figures. Again, had no idea who either one of them were, but I had the action figures and I used to always have them kicking each other's ass. So RIP to the Iron Sheik, stocks falling for Hulk Hogan in honor of him. Now what's your secret?
My secret stock falling. I put it in the rundown as secret because I needed to make sure that my co-host could not prepare himself for what was going to happen at the end of our podcast today.
I'm always prepared.
Stock falling, Demetri. Demetri, you have been doing some absolute nonsense on the Twitter account.
Oh, I know what this is.
You are making the podcast look bad with your shipping of Lacey Evans.
Mm-hmm.
She's a fucking bum. She's not that good. She does not have the charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent for the way that you gas her up on the Twitter account. And you're making all of us look bad. Everyone involved look bad with this Lacey Evans love. We do not love Lacey Evans. Let Me Pod to You does not condone the actions of Lacey Evans.
Sometimes.
No!
On the internet. No, listen. You know where I stand, baby. Lacey Evans can be a good heel. I will repeat that.
But she's not, though.
Maybe
she can be, but she isn't.
She needs some TV time and some character.
She does not need some TV time.
That's consistent. She needs a consistent character, not to be flipped.
She's more of a heel on Twitter than she is on WWE television.
That's because she's not on WWE television, man.
But when she is, she wastes it because she sucks.
All right, I'm not gonna lie. So I did write that in my notes. The match was, it was a bad match. She is like clearly looks rusty.
She hit Zelina with the women's right. Gross. Terrible name for a move in the year of our Lord 2023 before the match and still couldn't get the dub. And then she's on Twitter going off like, rematch, ref sucked, crowd needs to be silent, and she was covered in oil.
Yeah, she was covered in oil. She slipped the oil out, dog. She slipped the oil.
Not. She did not. This is all.
How are you going to cheat against a Marine like that? Disrespectful.
Fuck the Marines. That one specifically.
That one specifically. Not all of them. Just that one. No, man. Hey, I will say this. Like I said, I took notes. The match, she was definitely rusty. For sure. Like, moves were not crispy. You know all that. But I will say this. We are a pro Lacey Evans podcast.
No, we are not. We are not. You are. We are not.
We are 50% pro Lacey.
This is unrelated. If anybody knows anybody who's looking to be a co-host on a wrestling podcast, we are hiring. The pay is nothing, but the only requirement is that you do not like Lacey Evans.
That was a good secret.
I've been mad about it all week.
Listen, Hey, if you want me to tweet my wrestling opinions from the official Twitter account,
Not those ones.
you're gonna get one Lacey Evans tweets per every 25, maybe 1 in 25. Nah, maybe that's low too. 1 in 100. We'll get one every now.
I actually thought about blocking Lacey Evans on the wrestling account so that you couldn't see her shit there anymore.
That'd be really funny. I wouldn't have even noticed. You should have did it.
Anyway, one of the last things I wanted to actually talk about to close up here is Money in the Bank so far. On the men's side, we've got L.A. Knight.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then Ricochet and Shinsuke Nakamura. I think that's shaping up pretty nicely so far.
Yeah. I would say so. For sure.
Rumors are that this week on SmackDown, there's going to be a Butch and Baron Corbin qualifier.
Butch and Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin? The Baron Corbin?
Yes.
Bomb Baron Corbin?
Yep, Big Baldy himself.
I mean, I can't see him winning.
No, it's a Butch dub. And that fella from Kentucky is probably going to come out and interfere and make Corbin lose.
Fellow from Kentucky.
I can't remember his name. He's one of those NXT guys, but he talks like this. He's got a big old draw. Yeah, so it's interesting.
That's the only rumor you got for me?
Okay, I'll find some more.
No, that's fine. I just didn't know if we had any more Money in the Bank rumors.
Oh, I can find some more Money in the Bank rumors. There actually were more, but I forgot to write them down.
Oh no, you good, bro? I'm just I'm excited for Money in the Bank. To be honest, I would like to see I'd like to see Corbin in the Money in the Bank. I know I said he's probably going to lose. I'd like to see him in there.
I would really like for LA Knight to win it.
Yeah.
That would be so fun.
That would be a fun time for sure.
Wow, that's hilarious.
What?
I found a rumor article about Money in the Bank from not Cage Side Seats, but it was just linking to an article from Cage Side Seats. So
everybody's source.
BWE is also saying that Damian Priest, Bobby Lashley, Matt Riddle, Cody Rhodes, Gunther, Finn Balor, Chad Gable, and Edge are all names in the mix for Money in the Bank.
Chad Gable.
I think we could definitely eliminate some of those. I do not think Damian Priest, Cody Rhodes, or Gunther will be involved.
Yeah, Damian Priest maybe.
I don't think so.
You're getting a little mini excitement about Damian Priest. Maybe.
He just seems to be, I don't know, it kind of seems like we're looking at, I don't know, it just seems like we're looking at a slightly lower level for the guys that are in there than Damian Priest, who internally they are already seeing as a main eventer. He main evented Backlash, he main evented Raw this week. I don't think that he's going to be in there.
Yeah, no. But all the names mentioned, I think out of everybody there, I would like to see LA Knight the most, for sure. Not a question.
Just him with the briefcase just for TV time would be really interesting.
He'd be talking to shit, man.
Oh, yeah. Let me see if this is... Okay, yep, here's the next qualifying matches, all on SmackDown.
Ooh.
Butch versus Baron Corbin. Santos Escobar versus Mustafa Ali. Michin versus Bayley. And Shotzi versus Io Sky.
Ooh, okay. Io Sky in there? I would like to see Io Sky win the goddamn whole thing. I love Io Sky.
You think they put her back as having that briefcase right away?
I don't know, man. I really don't know, but I hope so.
I just hope... what I'd really like to see out of the women's Money in the Bank is that whoever wins it holds the briefcase for a bit.
Yeah.
Because I think I remember from last year, from one of the wrestling podcasts I listened to, they had the statistics on the women's cash-ins, and there was one woman who had held the briefcase for more than a week.
Oh, wow.
So I would really like to see whatever happens there. It's a more creative story, and it extends a little bit longer. I think it's pretty obvious on the men's side that it's going to be Butch and Santos Escobar that win those.
Yeah, like I said, I don't see Baron going anywhere. So yeah, I feel you.
No. Michin and Bailey, I think that's more of a toss-up, though. They have not made Michin look very strong, even though she is and should be, especially just for being haters to Hit Row. We are a Hit Row hating podcast, so we can at least agree on that one.
Michin's hilarious on Twitter, too.
Oh, she's fantastic. But, Bailey, that's a draw for Money in the Bank if she wins it. I think she'd be really fun with the briefcase, too. Mm-hmm. And then I think Shotzi Io Sky, I think that's pretty obvious.
I just really want to see Io Sky win, get the briefcase, and feud and eventually cash in on Asuka. That's what the people want to see. The people is me.
Yeah, and then Matt Riddle is rumored to be involved in the last qualifying match. Boo to that one as well.
He actually, did you notice he kind of messed up at the beginning of his promo this week on Raw?
I didn't, because I see Matt Riddle and I start doing something else.
It was just funny. He popped up and he started to say it and he was like, sorry. And then he started again. And I'm like, bro, did I just see that? So I had to rewind and watch it again. But yep, he did that again.
Well, also so far on the women's side, we've got Zelina Vega, Zoe Stark, and Becky Lynch. So... yeah, you know what? Having Bailey in there would be really interesting with Zelina, Zoe Stark, Becky Lynch, Bailey, Io. That's stacked, actually. That's basically the top lasses in the women's division.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the just in general the women's division over the men's. So I always think their groupings typically are more interesting for me.
Yeah. All right, well, that's all I got. Demetri, you have anything else you want to dive into?
Nope, just got a new Twitter handle, like you said, and it's Demetri Talks now. So if you want to tweet at me and tell me that Lacey Evans is a good heel, I'd tweet you back and say I agree.
You know what? Also, in lieu of reviews this week, send Demetri some hate on his @ for this Lacey Evans nonsense. Thank you all for listening. You can follow us on Twitter and TikTok @ Let Me Pod To You. We are also on YouTube @ Let Me Pod To You, where we will be uploading a video version of the podcast each week going forward, where you can kind of see me and you can kind of not see Demetri. You can follow Demetri on Twitter @ Demetri Talks. Please send him hate. And you can find me if you want @ We Hate Jacob. That's hate with an 8. Please give us a review. Nope. Send Demetri some hate. We're on every major podcast network. Please, everybody, have a great week.